Hello and welcome to Biofilm News Podcast, the show that brings you to the forefront of biomedical research, biotech, pharma, and healthcare fields, and the professionals behind it. I'm your host, Pavel Ryzhov. So now that we've talked about your scientific career, I'd like to switch gears and talk a little bit about your other shoes that you're filling currently, which is as a dean of a graduate school of biomedical sciences, which I was a part of. So to uninitiated and to all our listeners, can you tell us a little bit about that position and the graduate school?
Right. So I've been interested in education or graduate education for quite a long time. Before I came to San Diego to our institute, I was at Duke University and I was in one of the medical departments there. And when I joined that department, the chairman asked me if I could be director of graduate studies. I had no idea what director of graduate studies was. So I looked into it and I thought, oh, that could be fun. You know, working with graduate students and helping them to find the right labs and helping them to, design courses for them. And I got really interested in designing innovative courses for graduate students. And then when I moved to San Diego, I kind of brought that ethos with me. And we didn't have a graduate program at our institute. You might not know this. The graduate program is what? Yeah, actually, you probably do know this. It's about 12 years old. Mm-hmm. And so we started a graduate program, and I was kind of designated as the person to get it going. And I loved that idea. I thought that was great. So it was a real grassroots initiative from our faculty. They wanted to have a graduate program. They wanted to have graduate students, and they wanted to educate them in courses in a kind of innovative way that other institutions were not doing. And so that was the exciting part, is we're all scientists, scientists are experimentalists, and we're experimental in education as well, I think. So we tried some experimental mechanisms to educate our students, which included very small classes, included hands-on, what we call now flip the classroom, where we ask the students to get involved in teaching each other and presenting, rather than just lecturing at them. We want the students to actually get involved in the educational process. So we were able to do that because we're a very small institution. We didn't suffer from a huge administrative load like most universities do. So we could move nimbly through modern educational methods. And that became very exciting for me. And so I became the dean, I guess, because I had the most experience, because I was most interested in developing these mechanisms. And I quickly brought on board some of our faculty who also shared my interests. And we put together the graduate program. And so the question is, why am I doing it still? There's something really exciting about working with the young minds. I work with a lot of old minds, senior professors, sure. And it's pretty boring sometimes. You don't get a lot of new thoughts coming out of them. You get the same old things recycled a lot. There's dealing with naive, and I use the word naive in the most open sense, and not in a pejorative way, but dealing with naive students who don't know all the background to everything necessarily, but are very excited in developing new ideas, is just rejuvenating. It's great to interact with those students.
So,
so I guess I would just say that it's a lot of fun.
So when you had initially brought to start the graduate school, was there already a platform or like rather a shared sentiment by the existing faculty that we need that, and why it hasn't been started before you came on board?
Yes, not all of the faculty. Mm-hmm. There were some resistors who were not interested in having a graduate program. They felt it would interfere with their science. But there were other faculty who thought this would enhance their science. And we actually had an affiliation with the local university here, where our institute had an affiliation, and we actually trained graduate students in our labs from this local university. And this is one of the things that really kind of sort of nucleated our own graduate program, is we felt that while we were supervising these students in our labs, but we weren't allowed to educate them in the way we wanted to educate them with courses, because they took all their courses at the university. And we felt that that was fine for the university, but for the students that we wanted to educate in our labs, we wanted to prepare them in different ways with different types of courses, different kind of fundamental mechanisms. And so that rang the bell with about, I would say, 2/3 of our faculty, not the entire faculty. There's still 1/3 of resistors. And that's good. I think that's just honest. That's an honest way. Not everyone has to agree, but those people who want to participate, they participate. Those people who don't want to participate, they shouldn't be forced to. And no one should be forced to teach if they don't want to do it, if they're not good at it.
Yeah. So summarizing what you mentioned about the graduate school, what do you think is the unique value proposition that our graduate school has as compared to everybody else in the United States, for example?
Well, unique is the wrong word. There's nothing unique about us. There's something unusual about us. And I thought it was unique, but it turns out there are a couple of other graduate schools that do it as well. And that is that we take students into the program to match directly with our faculty supervisors. And so, as you know, the graduate students in the biological sciences, they spend most of their time being sort of apprenticed. And I say apprentice because it is sort of an apprenticeship to a senior scientist, or even a not necessarily a senior scientist, but a fully qualified scientist, a professor, or assistant professor. And they spend most of their time learning how to conduct science in that person's lab. And so we wanted to, and yet in many universities, they don't actually directly enter into the lab. Most universities, you enter into a rotation program. And you rotate, and it means that you know, as an applicant to a program, you'll be accepted, and you're expected to spend a little bit of time in maybe 3 or 4 labs for your first year. Mm-hmm. And you hope that you find a good match. So we accelerated that process by requiring that our applicants make that match before they're accepted. That allowed them to be accepted directly into the labs, to evade the rotation program, which could be good, but can also be a waste of time for some students. Yeah. And our class, as a consequence, our class load is much less, and we can focus on the individual students. Now, this is not for everybody. It's for a certain type of student. The certain type of student is like yourself, who decided, I want to go into this lab. I want to study this kind of thing with this person. That's who I want to be with, you know, for the next few years of my life. And as an apprentice, I want to learn that way. But if you don't know that, you should join a program that does rotations. Yeah, and yeah. Maybe once you get in to that program, hopefully you'll find someone who will be that mentor for the next 5 years of your life, or whatever. So the advantage of our program is that it's not for everybody. It's for those people who've already made the decision about what they want to do. And the advantage is it gets them qualified faster, usually.
Yeah, I can speak to that from experience. And going into the program, I was seriously driven by the curiosity to pursue protein structure function relationship, and I picked from the range of the professors and faculty that we have in the institute, and that allowed me to bypass all the potentially unnecessary rotations, and as a result, graduate faster. So I could see that this would be an appeal to a lot of students. Please subscribe to this channel to stay up to date with latest news and with conversations with professionals from the industry.